il lui a dit mais enfin Nina, vous savez bien que tous les personnages que j'ai joués sont homosexuels. Et bon, évidemment, branle-bas de combat chez Disney, on imagine. Et il y a eu d'autres screenings. Il paraît qu'on a entendu Michael Eisner, qui était le grand patron Disney de l'époque, hurler en disant qu'il fallait se débarrasser de Depp. Et Johnny Depp est allé là-bas. Il leur a dit virez-moi, payez-moi, mais virez-moi si jamais il y a un problème, je comprends. Et puis en fait, progressivement, il y a eu des tests, des screening tests avec du public. Et encore une fois, les spectateurs, vous, avez sauvé et ce rôle et sa carrière, a new career. I was wondering. I was wondering if you there is from Jack Sparrow, from Scissorhands to Jack Sparrow, and going to Raoul Duke or William Blake. I wanted to ask you a question about your influences in terms of physicality. You speak about music. I wanted to speak about silent movie stars, because there is some. You are very mute. A lot of time, and a lot of things go through your eyes first, and Vincent Gallo said some beautiful things about your power of stillness and your gift of observation and of placidness. I don't know if you and I wanted to know what's your relationship with those actors, Lon Chaney, Chaplin, that you loved. Can you elaborate a little?
As a kid, just on I think it was public television, you could watch old silent films. So maybe I was 9, 8, 9. 10, watching these silent films with Charlie Chaplin and with Buster Keaton and with Lon Chaney Sr. and I became obsessed with these people. I became obsessed with silent films, and what I suppose fascinated me mostly then, still fascinates me now, is that they did not have the luxury of words. Everything was. I mean, some of that acting is rather grand and a little bit German expressionistic, but it's still, everything is behind the eyes, and everything is in the body. Language and the timing, and again, if you have to speak volumes and speak layers of things with nothing but body language, movement, thought, and emotion, they're untouchable. What they were able to do, plus the physicality of their work. Lon Chaney Sr. Had his legs bound behind him to do a film called The Penalty, where he played his legs had been cut off. It's some of the most brilliant acting I've ever seen, physical acting and emotional. Keaton, I think Buster Keaton never failed. So those were the guys that were my heroes until, Marlon Brando or Timothy Carey, or actors that I thought were George C. Scott, that I thought were interesting and doing things uniquely. But yeah, the silent cinema is still an untapped universe.
The essence, yeah, maybe. Quand il était plus jeune, effectivement, il a grandi. You were watching at the TV, you said? Il a grandi en regardant les grands films muets, Chaplin, Keaton, Lon Chaney, et ça l'a beaucoup marqué, surtout pour effectivement tout passer par la physicalité, la puissance du corps, du geste, une extrême implication aussi, parce qu'il rappelle que Lon Chaney, pour certains rôles, quand il jouait des personnages handicapés, se scotchait la jambe, enfin s'attachait la jambe dans le dos pour jouer un unijambiste. Enfin, il y avait des performances qui sont effectivement marquantes, et surtout cette idée de effectivement la puissance du corps, en fait, la puissance de l'élasticité. And I think that we can see that in Raoul Duke when you play Hunter Thompson like a Keatonesque, cartoonish character, I think. Quand il joue Hunter Thompson dans Las Vegas Parano, par exemple, pour moi, c'est un personnage de cartoon, la manière dont il l'interprète.
The character of Raoul Duke in Fear and Loathing or Las Vegas Parano it was Hunter Thompson, certainly, who I lived with him for months and studied him, you know, and he was kind and generous enough to allow me to do that. But trying to more than the responsibility that you have to play Raoul Duke, which is Hunter's invention, which is Hunter, you have to also pay attention to the very important the drawings that Ralph Steadman did to sort of take you through the drawings that Steadman did became part of this character as well. So yeah, there was a bit of cartoon work to do, you know.
Il y avait effectivement un peu de cartoon quand il a joué Hunter Thompson, même si le plus gros du travail, il est resté quelques mois, il a étudié de près, on va dire, il a accompagné Hunter Thompson pendant quelques mois pour voir comment il se déplaçait, comment il pensait, comment il réfléchissait. I've read that the most important thing was to know how he was thinking, and the fact that, you know, the thinking was conducting. Yeah,
what was important was to try to learn how his mind worked, how he thought, how he would react to certain things. So I watched him like a hawk and videotaped him and pissed him off, but it worked.
Et donc c'était effectivement de savoir comment il réfléchissait. There is a room for just one quick question, because it's been an hour or so roughly. Thank you for your time, Johnny. Just a quick question about Hollywood nowadays. Do you think there is still room for Johnny Depp, for actors like you, stars like you, that decide not to be a product, and is it tougher than before? Or do you prefer, because you know that you will keep on exploring margins and yeah, what's your view on Hollywood now? Je lui demande s'il y a aujourd'hui encore de la place pour des acteurs et des stars aussi atypique, on va dire, que Johnny Depp dans un Hollywood, on le disait tout à l'heure, qui en tout cas pour les gros films, les gros spectacles, sont beaucoup plus aseptisés qu'il y a quelques années. Est-ce qu'il y a encore de la place pour Johnny Depp, et surtout, est-ce que ça ne va pas justement l'encourager à aller chercher dans les marges, comme vous verrez City of Lies tout à l'heure, Minamata aussi, qui est un film dans lequel vous jouerez. Voilà.
I don't know that Hollywood is any different. Hollywood itself, meaning the bosses, the upper echelon, the people who control studios, the people who make decisions, the people who send notes to filmmakers while they're making their film. I've experienced it firsthand for 30 years or so. So, and I've done the Hollywood. I've done films with studios, and I've done films on shoestrings, you know, shoestring budget, and the one thing is this: though film cinema is definitely a collaborative effort, you know. Nobody goes out there and does everything alone. It's about this coalition, this group of people all working towards the same goal, and that is to make the best film you can make. But in Hollywood itself, where I would say Hollywood makes more movies, just movies, less film, less cinema. And I think that, you know, having experienced, you know, having read notes that get received by filmmakers during, I'll give you a great example. This is 20th Century Fox again. I was doing a film in the Czech Republic called From Hell. And From Hell was a film about Jack the Ripper. So if they are paying for this film about Jack the Ripper to be made, they're financing it, 20th Century Fox, you know that there's going to be a lot of blood. I mean, you would imagine, right? There's going to be a lot of blood in a Jack the Ripper film. There's going to be a lot of violence. The first set of notes that the Hughes brothers received from 20th Century Fox was, after seeing dailies, you know, after seeing parts of the film, the amount of horse dung in the streets must be regulated. There's too much horse shit in the streets. You've got to get rid of it. But wait a minute. What about the blood? Give a fuck about the blood. We don't want to see horse poop in the movie. And when I saw that note, I knew I had to get out of Hollywood.
Hollywood a toujours, au fond, Hollywood a toujours été comme ça. Ça fait quelques décennies qu'il est dans le métier, et il fait autant des gros films, des blockbusters, que des petits des films indépendants, vraiment avec des budgets très très petits, et ça fait des années en fait, et que au fond l'évolution n'est peut-être pas aussi forte qu'on peut se l'imaginer, en tout cas que certains d'entre nous peuvent se l'imaginer. Il donne un exemple sur le film From Hell des frères Hughes. Donc, en fait, une des craintes, it was one of your fears, being sent some notes about violence and blood. Il craignait.
Un film de Jack l'Éventreur.
Et il craignait que. C'est un film sur Jack l'Éventreur, pour ceux qui ne l'ont pas vu. Et il craignait que le studio se plaigne de la quantité de sang qu'il allait avoir à l'écran. Enfin bon. Et les premiers retours quand ils ont eu les premiers retours du studio qui voyaient ce qu'on appelle les dailies, c'est-à-dire jour après jour, ils avaient les rushs de ce qui était filmé. Et les premiers retours qu'ils ont eu, les premières notes que les frères Hughes ont eues sur leur bureau, ça a été le studio donc expliquait: il y a trop de merde de cheval dans les rues. Enlevez-moi les merdes de cheval ou de chevaux qu'on voit dans les rues. Il n'y avait rien sur le sang, rien sur la violence. C'était juste le caca de cheval qui visiblement embêtait les studios. Et c'est à ce moment-là que Johnny Depp s'est dit: ok, il faut vite que je me barre de cet endroit.
I was sure at that point none of them could appreciate Bruegel. also.
What is Bruegel?
Bruegel, the painter.
Oh yeah, c'est vrai. Et il pense que effectivement aucun des exécutifs qui avaient envoyé cette note n'aurait pu apprécier Bruegel, qui est le peintre, le peintre, voilà.
There was always a dog.
Yeah. There is always
dans
dans les tableaux de Bruegel, on voit souvent effectivement un chien qui fait caca ou des chevaux. Enfin, il y a des voilà. Thank you, Johnny.
Merci, thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Merci à vous. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.